George and Martha, Tons of Fun by James Marshall. Now on HBO Family. George and Martha, Tons of Fun. Look. Is that Martha and George? What's George doing there? I hope Martha understands, said George. But Martha did not understand. Martha was offended. Martha was hurt. And Martha was mad. Look at you. She's so mad. A few minutes later, George's telephone rang. It was Martha.
George,
she said.
I never want to see you again.
And she slammed down the receiver. Oh dear, said George. Look at George's tooth. Did he go to the dentist and get a gold tooth? That's funny. And they've got giant phones because they're hippos. That's funny. Martha was mad all afternoon and evening. Finally, she got out her saxophone.
This will calm me down,
she said. Soon Martha was having quite a bit of fun. In fact, she was having so much fun that she didn't even answer her telephone. Oh dear, said George, Martha must still be upset. But Martha had forgotten all about the misunderstanding. Look at this. She's playing Bach. She couldn't even hear her phone answer. And she forgot all about the problems. Is she wearing a rose in her head? In her hair? Or something? That's funny. Oh, that's it. That's the end of the story. Look at that. That's the end. So these are in different stories, and that was story 1. So I guess she forgot all about the fight. Interesting. What do you think about that? What do you think about that story? Why did she forget? And George was still worried about it? Story number 2, the sweet tooth. Is that why George has a gold tooth, I wonder? Like cookies, and a milkshake, or what is it, a sundae or something? And lollipops and gumdrops? George had a sweet tooth. He just couldn't stop himself from eating sweets.
You know what they say about too much sugar,
said Martha. Let's not discuss it, said George. Late at night, George would raid the refrigerator to satisfy his sweet tooth.
You weigh a ton,
said Martha. Let's not discuss it, said George.
This calls for action,
said Martha. Look at this. He's got on his fuzzy green slippers, doesn't he? So what kind of action is Martha going to take? And she lighted up a cigar. Stop that, said George. You'll make yourself sick.
Let's not discuss it,
said Martha. You'll ruin your teeth, cried George.
We won't discuss it,
said Martha. Please, cried George. You're ruining your health.
No discussion,
said Martha. So is this her way of dealing with George's sweet tooth? He eats sweets, so she smokes a cigar. Look, she's got an ashtray here. Uh-oh. Martha began to turn a peculiar color. George couldn't stand it any longer, and he fell to his knees. I'll do anything you say, he begged.
Will you cut down on your sweets?
Said Martha. I promise, said George. And Martha put out her cigar. That's funny. She used the cigar to stop him from eating sweets. And he stopped. Story number 3, the photograph. One day, Martha stepped into a photography booth.
I love to have my picture taken,
she said. Click went the camera. Clicko Pics. Look at all these different animals. It must be an animal world, huh? Only 50 cents, no refunds. Looks like California or something, doesn't it? Or Florida, maybe? Nice. When Martha saw her photograph, she was thrilled.
I've never looked prettier.
She said. Her face is long, so it comes directly into the camera. She's got that rose again, same as the first story. Remember when she was in bed? It's the same rose. Oh, that's it. These are cute stories. That's funny. It's like a comic book almost, isn't it? Story number 4, The Hypnotist. You know what a hypnotist is? George was trying to hypnotize Martha. "Your eyes are getting heavy," said George.
I believe they are.
Said Martha. "You are getting sleepy," said George.
That's true.
Said Martha. And in a moment, Martha seemed sound asleep. "Success," whispered George. It is the United States. Look, it says the Alamo, which is in Texas. Where have they been to Texas, maybe? Hippos in Texas? That's funny. He's hypnotized. Do you think she's really tired because of the hypnotist, the hypnotism, or because she's tired? Ever so quietly, George tiptoed to the kitchen, where he kept his cookie jar. Look what's on the wall. Mount Fuji. We're in Japan right now. Sometimes we can see Mount Fuji too. He's going to the kitchen to get his cookie jar. "Aha!" cried Martha. What did he do? And that's why he has a gold tooth, isn't it? Because he eats too many cookies, and he has a cavity, maybe. George was ashamed. He'd broken his promise.
Would you like a cookie?
He asked Martha.
Yes, I would.
She said, and she ate them all. That's the end of the story, I think. She ate all the cookies at the end. This is the hypnotist story. So he tried to put her to sleep, and then she was getting sleepy, and then he sneaked away to the kitchen, and then he got some cookies, and then Martha found him, and she caught him eating cookies, so she said, "I'll have some cookies," when he asked her, and then she ate all of the cookies. It's funny, isn't it? The last story, The Special Gift. It was George's birthday, and Martha stopped by the bookshop to buy a gift.
He loves to read.
Martha told the salesperson. Who is the salesperson? Crocodile or alligator. And what's this say? Sincerely, Igor. This cat is Igor. Look at all these books. Oh, I see. These are real people, real authors. Dickens and Lobel and Richard Spooky. Some of these are jokes here on authors' names. On the way to George's house, Martha played a tricky game of hopscotch. And what's happening to the book? Falling down? Uh-oh. George could hardly wait for his gift. "I can't stand the suspense," he said. But when Martha went to look for George's book, it wasn't there. "I'm waiting," said George.
What will I do?
Said Martha to herself. "I'm waiting," said George. So what's she gonna do? She has no gift for George. Martha quickly decided to give George the photograph of herself.
It's not much.
She said. When George saw Martha's picture, he fell off his chair laughing.
Well,
Said Martha.
what's so funny?
He's enjoying it. That's a good gift, isn't it? She doesn't realize that it's a funny picture. "This is the best gift I've ever received," said George.
It is?
Said Martha. "Of course," said George. "It's wonderful to have a friend who knows how to make you laugh." Martha decided to swallow her pride. She saw that the photograph was pretty funny after all. What does that mean, to swallow your pride? It means not to be upset when somebody says something about you. And in the end, they both enjoyed the gift that Martha gave to George. The end. That was nice. And there's other George and Martha books. There's George and Martha Rise and Shine, Encore, Back in Town, Round and Round, One Fine Day, and tons of fun. This is a nice book. I kind of like it. It's weird, isn't it? Like, the stories are odd, but it's funny. I like it because there's not really, like, important lessons. It's kind of funny lessons. It's how people really are, isn't it? I like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.